Hey everyone, Usman here, back with another video. I'm going to be reviewing and also reading an article giving details about this new Spider-Man DLC that came out for the Marvel's Avengers game that came out last year. Well, they didn't release it yet, but they had like an announcement sort of trailer. So I saw it, and I'm just going to talk about it. I'm going to read the article. There's an article that I found from, I think, CBR that I'm going to be reading, and then I'm going to give you my thoughts about the whole thing. Sound good? Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment. As usual, letting me know your thoughts about this version of Spider-Man appearing in this game, as well as do you think it's going to be better than the PS4 Spider-Man that's been out and that people are really responding to? Did you like that Marvel's Avengers game? Just let me know anything down below in the comments. Spider-Man makes Marvel's Avengers sensational in an amazing first trailer. Crystal Dynamics welcomes Peter Parker and his alter ego Spider-Man into the PS4 version of Marvel's Avengers with an action-packed trailer. The latest trailer for Marvel's Avengers heralds the long-awaited arrival of Spider-Man. The brief reveal places Peter Parker front and center as he takes down a small AIM operation before he's overwhelmed by the oncoming soldiers. The Avengers show up to provide assistance. Some of Spidey's moves are also highlighted as he makes ample use of his webs and spider-sense to dispatch his foes. The trailer ends with a sequence of stylish web-swinging that features several Avengers like Kamala Khan and Tony Stark joining Peter in the skies above New York City. The Spider-Man depicted in the trailer sounds quite young. Whether this factors into his narrative is currently unknown. The legendary web-slinger Spider-Man will come exclusively to PlayStation players in the November 30th update along with the Spider-Man with Great Power Hero event. Spider-Man's high-flying acrobatics bring an entirely new way to experience the game either solo or with friends, and his unique movement and combat abilities are sure to be a great addition to any strike team taking on missions in the Avengers Initiative, reads the official announcement. While many fans may be excited to see Peter Parker finally join the ranks of Earth's mightiest heroes, his addition comes at a small price. Spider-Man will only be available in the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 versions of Marvel's Avengers. Players have expressed frustration with this decision, especially since the hero will be the only character limited by console exclusivity. Some have suggested that Peter will eventually make his way to other systems, but due to Sony owning the rights to the character, it's unclear whether this will come to fruition. Spider-Man's exclusivity isn't the only controversy to plague Marvel's Avengers. The game has unfortunately faced a great deal of criticisms from both fans and critics alike, largely due to its games-as-a-service approach. Upon launch, many complained that Marvel's Avengers' strong single-player component was unnecessarily hampered by the inclusion of loot and gear levels. This was recently exacerbated by the addition of paid XP boosts in the in-game store, a decision that was quickly reversed following a massive outcry from the community. Beyond these stumbling blocks, Marvel's Avengers has also experienced its fair share of success. Its first major expansion, War for Wakanda, was universally praised for its depiction of Wakanda and Black Panther. Alongside Spider-Man's update, players can look forward to the Claw Raid, a tough-as-nails challenge that will conclude the story of vibranium-rich country with a climactic battle against the villainous Ulysses Claw. Spider-Man officially arrives in Marvel's Avengers on November 30th, while the greater update will be available on all platforms, including Xbox Series X, Xbox One, and PC. Peter Parker will only be accessible on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. It was an interesting teaser that they showed. I thought Spider-Man looked very interesting in that teaser, and I think he'll look very interesting in the game as well. They gave like a different version of his costume, like different from what the Spider-Man PS4 costume looked like. That's what we mainly have a grasp on in terms of what Spider-Man looks like now in these games. It's cool that they're sort of differentiating between these kinds of characters, versions of Spider-Man, because I think the Marvel's Avengers Spider-Man is going to be different from, the PS4 Spider-Man, different universes, gaming universes of some kind. I never played Marvel's Avengers. It came out, I think, last year in September. I never played it because I don't own these consoles. I don't really play a lot of video games anymore, but I heard that the game was not great, or really, I guess, good, because it's been criticized for, the loot stuff, or something that I mentioned in the article about, I think, games as a service type of approach. I think that's what they say, like with microtransactions, like you have to pay to get these exclusive skins for characters or weapons. That, like, I have a little bit of, like, a teeny tiny sort of understanding of that thing. But yeah, that really is a shame. And that really is not cool. That is kind of unfortunate because, it kind of just made my anticipation a little low, but not by a lot. But I still want to play the game if I ever get the chance just to check it out. Just thinking it might not be as bad as other people might think it is. Yeah, this is going to be a DLC. It's not going to be like part of the main game. As I mentioned, PS4 and PS5. So that's what's going to be exclusive to. They did have like a DLC before that was War for Wakanda. It was a Black Panther DLC. I saw gameplay of it, like walkthroughs and stuff on different channels and stuff, and people playing it, and I always thought that was kind of cool. I loved the fluidity of the combat was pretty cool. It very much looked like what it would look like if Black Panther was out there like fighting, and I just thought, the graphics for that look cool. and the trailer looked cool for that. I'm hoping that Spider-Man, when they do his DLC, like it can deliver as well. It just looked interesting to me, not something that was like mind-blowing or, oh my gosh, I can't wait to play this, or I can't wait to one day pick up a PS4 or PS5 one day and just play this. But it kind of did spark my interest a little bit. Spider-Man, I love Spider-Man. I think the Spider-Man PS4 game version is the best version of Spider-Man, to be honest. I think one of the voice actors, Yuri Lowenthal, who's the guy who voiced Spider-Man, and also in the game, as well as in many other sort of iterations of Spider-Man, like he's not coming back to voice him. There was another voice in the game, which also had, that sort of like joking manner that Peter Parker Spider-Man has, and I think the guy delivered it well. I don't think it's as memorable as like Yuri Lowenthal's, but I still think he did a decent job in that VO work. I'm not going to be like, oh my gosh, that sounds terrible. It's like, he sounds whatever Peter Parker Spider-Man sounds like when he's in the costume, so whatever. And I like at the end when he's like swinging around and he's like giving Miss Marvel like a fist bump. Those are my thoughts on this whole news. Hopefully one day I get to play the game. Sounds interesting. Heard about it since last year, but now that it's finally come to fruition, it's going to be fun for a lot of fans. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.